Hello and welcome to PEMF, the fifth element of health. PEMF, which stands for pulsed electromagnetic fields, are an essential element of health, which is why we're calling this the fifth element of health. Now, you're familiar with food being essential, water being essential, oxygen being essential, and hopefully most of you are aware that sleep is also essential. Well, now we know there's a fifth element that is equally, if not more important than some of the others. In fact, you can actually live longer without food and water than you can, as we'll see, without pulsed electromagnetic fields of the Earth. And the good news is that there are devices now available that actually simulate the Earth-based frequencies, which will actually charge up all 70 trillion of your cells, which is why we call PEMF sort of a whole body battery charger. So the first part here, I want to talk about a little about the energetic universe we live in. Quantum mechanics actually predicts that each cubic centimeter of space has at least 10 to the 52 ergs of energy. Now that's more than a trillion nuclear explosions. Okay, that's a 1 followed by 24 zeros, a very large number. In fact, that amount of energy can drive our galaxy for, I believe, 1 million years, all 100 billion stars that are in our galaxy. So in every little cubic centimeter, there's that much energy. So as modern cosmology models predict, most of basically what we see as our visible universe is only 4% of the total energy of the universe. And now here on Earth, we also are in the relentless storm of energy emitted from the sun, from lightning strikes. You know, we have up to 1 million lightning flashes a day with something like 400,000 thunderstorms. So here on Earth, we're also in a very highly energetic environment. Now, interestingly, the body, as many of you may know and modern science has now confirmed, is that the body electric, we're primarily energy or electrical beings, and secondarily, we're chemical. So the ancients knew this. You know, acupuncture and a lot of the ancient, Chinese and Japanese therapies are sort of based on an understanding of these bodies' energy fields, as well as the Indian system of the chakras and the nadis, all the energy systems. So a lot of the Eastern cultures understand this idea. Here in the West now, it's becoming overwhelmingly evident with modern technology that yes, we are energetic. In fact, MRIs, EEGs, EKGs, EMGs, NCVs, and other new technologies are showing us that yes, we are primarily energetic, and these devices detect that. Energy medicine is a new field of alternative therapies that uses energy instead of chemistry to heal. So PEMF, the fifth element discovered. Well, in Yuri Gagarin's historic flight, where he was the first one to take a lap around the Earth, so the Russians did win the space race, but after just 1 hour and 48 minutes, Yuri Gagarin came back sort of in bad shape. He saw he had depression, bone loss, muscle degeneration, decreased metabolism, and impaired perception, all just in 1 hour and 48 minutes. So ever since that first flight, they have used pulse magnetic generators in every spacesuit and every space station. Why? Because they have to. It's an essential element. And the zero field studies done here on Earth in what's called mu steel, which blocks out the fields of the Earth, have confirmed that if we don't get pulse magnetic fields, we actually die. Cells will die without pulse magnetic fields. And if we don't get enough of these fields, then we get sick. So Earth-based PEMFs are a required element of health, just like food, water, oxygen, and sleep. In fact, like I said before, you can live longer without food and water than you can without pulsed magnetic fields. So let's now talk about the Earth's natural PEMFs. So there's two primary pulsed electromagnetic fields on the Earth. The first is the Schumann frequencies, which are produced by lightning strikes and solar flares. And sort of these lightning strikes sort of ring the ionosphere almost like a bell, producing 7.83 and higher harmonics of like 14.3, 20.8. So this is a very, very important frequency. The second essential frequency on the Earth is the frequency of the Earth's magnetic field itself. And that's found to be roughly around 11.75 or 11.79. It varies at the equator versus the poles. Now, there's a lot of validation that the human body needs these frequencies. Well, first, we already talked about the space program has shown that they have to use these frequencies. In fact, in NASA, they use 7.83 Schumann resonators. Addy and Bowen discovered a biological window of frequencies that human cells respond to. And interestingly, they almost exactly match the Earth-based frequencies, roughly 3 to 25 hertz. Now, Dr. John Zimmerman interestingly studied hands-on healers and found that they emitted from their hands frequencies in the same range. And finally, O'Keefe and Nadel showed that the hippocampus in the brain is tuned to about 7.83 hertz. So there's a lot of confirmation in the brain state frequencies too, from low delta to high beta are in the 0 to 30 hertz. So now I want to change the subject to an interesting question. Why don't we get heart cancer? Well, the answer is the heart is the most electrical organ. At least that's one very good theory. Heart cells have a voltage of upwards to 120 millivolts and even slightly higher in some cases. Okay, this is almost twice of some of our other cells than the average person. Now, PEMF acts like a whole body battery charger by recharging each of the 70 trillion cells in your body. Okay, though we cannot charge the cells as high as the heart cells, we can raise the voltage of the cells in our body to 70 to 110 millivolts in the case of high-end athletes. But most people, you're going to get 70 to 90 millivolts. Okay, now PEMF acts also like a spark or ignition or impulse, okay, that keeps the cells charged at an ideal voltage. Okay, just like a car, you need fuel, you need oxygen, and you need an ignition, the spark plug. Also, when you burn a fire, you need match, which is the ignition, and you need fuel and oxygen. So within the human cells, that ignition, that spark, is pulsed magnetic fields. And this helps the cells to produce ATP, oxygenation, helps to put nutrients into the cells, water, hydration, and all the essential elements, and to take waste products out. So now people that are sick can have voltages as low as 20 millivolts in the case of cancer. Okay, now the twofold problem here on Earth, because people do ask, why is it, why can't we just go outside and lay on the Earth to get these frequencies? Well, you can, but here's some important points. Over the past 300 years, the Earth's magnetic field has declined by 50%. In fact, many theorize that we're in the process of a pole shift over the next couple thousand years. Another problem is the average person stays inside about 90% of the day. And on top of that, we live and work in these concrete structures, skyscrapers, we drive in metal cars, we wear rubber soles, all kinds of problems. So, in fact, there's some Japanese researchers that call diseases like fibromyalgia and other chronic illnesses magnetic deficiency syndrome. Now, on top of that, we get too much of the unhealthy PEMFs, which is also called electrosmog, from power lines, computers, cell phones, digital clocks, microwaves, TVs, hair dryers, which causes a submolecular electronic disturbance, which is a word coined by a former Nobel Prize winner. So now the solution is Earth-based PEMF devices, and the MRS 2000 Designo is the only PEMF device that actually duplicates nature, both in intensity and frequency. And it does so using, we'll see, a sawtooth waveform, which delivers bunches of these frequencies within 0 to 30 hertz simultaneously. Okay, that's the beauty of using a sawtooth wave. Now, in only 8 minutes twice a day, you're going to recharge and oxygenate all your 70 trillion cells, which actually gives you the equivalent of walking barefoot in nature for 2 to 4 hours. So like we said, the full body mat uses a sawtooth wave. Now, the applicator pad and probe uses a square wave, which helps to break up cycles of pain and helps the body to heal. The MRS includes a biorhythm clock, which helps to give you the proper frequency for the proper time of day. And you can also additionally get the SLRS light and sound system. So the benefits of the MRS 2000 include more energy, better sleep, less pain, better mental focus, stronger bones, better immunity, EMF protection, and a lot more. Now, in conclusion, we've talked about how we live in a very highly energetic universe, which is mostly energy, that we ourselves are mostly energy. We also talked that PEMF is an essential element, the fifth element of health, along with food, air, water, oxygen, and sleep, and that PEMF devices act like a whole body battery charger, recharging the 70 trillion cells in your body. We talked about the twofold problem of why we need PEMF devices, not enough of the good and too much of the bad, and why the MRS is the best choice. So thanks for joining us.